So we're going to begin today seated on our mat. Any comfortable seat will do, whether you're sitting on top of your legs like I am, or maybe you want to cross your legs Indian style. Any comfortable seat is perfectly fine to begin. And as we begin our practice, you can feel free to gently close your eyes or just soften your gaze to the floor. And we're going to tune inward and start to focus on our breathing, focus on our breath. Feel the air as it enters your nostrils, fills the body. And as you slowly release through the nostrils, feel the air as it cools the body. We want to start to deepen our breath here. As we inhale, maybe see if you can hold the breath at the top for one moment before you slowly release it out. Taking long, deep breaths just like that. Take 2 more rounds here. Beginning to clear the mind of anything going on for the day, just focusing on the here and the now for the next 25 or so minutes. And when you're finished your final breath, you can gently blink open your eyes. Sit up maybe a little taller in your seat. We want to begin with a nice long and tall spine. Imagining that there's a string going from the top of our head, pulling us up, growing us 1 inch taller. And we're going to begin with seated cat and cow poses. So for seated cat and cow, I'll turn to the side, you can see me better. We're going to arch our spine, open our chest, and look up to the sky. A nice big upper back and spine stretch here. On our exhale, we're going to curl and roll our spine back behind us, drop our chin to our chest, have a nice rounding shape in our upper back. And then continue to do those 2 poses. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, looking down at your own pace. And if we want to make this pose even bigger, we can incorporate the arms. So taking our arms out to our sides. As we inhale, maybe our arms open up nice and wide, taking up as much space as we want. Exhale, we bring our hands forward and in front of us, dropping our chin, holding like a big beach ball, big imaginary beach ball. So inhale, we open. Exhale, close. Take about 3 more here. Really feeling the spine begin to warm up. Bring movement back to our body. And when you're ready, we can find stillness back in the center. Let's take our arms by our side. Inhale, breathe them up to the sky. Nice big stretch here. Reaching up through our fingertips. Maybe relax the shoulders down away from our ear. And we're going to incorporate a twist. So twisting to the right and lowering the arms down. You can bring your front hand on top of the leg or thigh. Bring our back hand behind us. Twisting to the right. Maybe you look straight ahead, or maybe you finish the twist by looking all the way over your right shoulder. Sit up a little bit taller in your spine, engage the core. Stay for an inhale. Finish the exhale. And when you're ready, unwind back to center. Same thing on the other side. Big stretch up, really reaching all the way up. Maybe this time we look up. Relax the shoulders down, and then twisting over to the left. Twisting the spine to our left, lowering the arms down, using our hands as leverage. Maybe we look to the side, or maybe you deepen that twist and look all the way behind you over that left shoulder. Exhale, you can unwind when you're ready. And then we're going to find tabletop position. Coming to our hands and our knees, wrists, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. We're going to take just 2 rounds of cat and cow here on our hands and knees. So cow pose, we arch our spine, look up to the sky. Cat pose, rolling our spine back, chin drops. Taking just 2 here. Inhale, arching the back. And exhale, rolling the spine. And final one, inhale for cow pose. And exhale for cat pose. Fantastic. We're going to extend our arms out long and in front of us. And we're going to take puppy dog pose. So reaching our arms in front of us and dropping our chin to the chest, chin and chest to the floor. Our hips are nice and high here, and we're just reaching towards the ground. It's okay if you don't reach the ground, just stretching and opening our back towards the floor. We're going to stay here for about 4 counts. So find a space that's comfortable for your neck. Maybe your chin is going to the floor, or maybe your forehead. See whichever feels comfortable for your neck. Breathe into that upper back space. And when you're finished your final breath, let's come back to tabletop on our hands and knees. And then we're going to come all the way up to our knees. So this next pose, we can take our hands to our hips to begin. We're going to extend our right leg out to the side. So our toes should be pointing away from us. And we're high on the knee of our left leg. Our leg is out straight. And then to begin, let's bring and extend our right hand up to the sky, stretching, reaching nice and tall. And then we're going to lean over to the left. Here, you can extend as far to the left as you'd like. So you can keep your hand on the hip, or maybe you try and reach all the way down to the floor with our left hand, reaching to the left even deeper. We're going to hold here, feeling that nice deep stretch on our right side. Maybe you look straight ahead, or maybe you try and look up at that top hand. Stay for 1 more inhale, 1 more exhale, and then we'll slowly come back up to center. We're going to do the opposite this time, raising our left hand to the sky, and we're going to reach over towards that right leg. This time we don't go as deep as we're reaching towards the leg, but you'll instantaneously feel that stretch on the left. Maybe you look straight ahead, or maybe you look up at that top hand. 1 more inhale. Finish the exhale, and then we'll come back up. Excellent. Bring the arms down, bring the leg back underneath you. Same thing on the other side, extending the left leg out this time. We're on the right leg, extending the leg out to the side. Our toes are pointing away from the body. And we'll begin with our left hand, raising the left hand to the sky and leaning over to the right. You can stay right here, or maybe you reach all the way down to the floor, deep in that stretch. Trying to create a straight line from the toes to the fingertips. Hold for 1 more breath. When you finish your breath, you can come up, nice and gentle. And this time we inhale, raise our right hand to the sky. Exhale, lean over to the left, towards that leg. Stay for 1 more breath. And when you're ready, we'll come back up through center, lower the arm, and bring both legs underneath us. Fantastic. We're going to go through tabletop pose, but we're going to ultimately reach up to downward facing dog. So plant your toes into the ground, lift your hips up nice and high, drop your head, downward facing dog. Really press the hands into the floor here, drop the head nice and low, reach the hips up nice and high, and then try and reach the heels towards the ground. You can feel free to pedal out the feet, maybe bending 1 leg at a time, really waking up the hamstrings here. And then let's find stillness in the pose for 2 more breaths. And when you're ready, let's walk our feet to meet our hands, walking towards the top of the mat, and then slowly roll up 1 vertebrae at a time until our head is the last thing to come up. Standing at the top of our mat, let's inhale, breathing our arms up to the sky. And exhale, hands come in front of us and heart center, prayer pose. Really great job. Shake it out. Make any movements that you need. Take a deep breath, and then we'll begin the next sequence. Standing at the top of our mat, we're going to inhale our hands up to the sky, and then we're going to exhale, forward fold, reaching down towards the ground. You can plant your hands on the ground, bend your knees, and then step back to a plank position, top of a push-up. Taking one moment here, and then we'll lift our hips up to the sky, pressing back to downward facing dog. Just one moment here, and then we're going to lift our right leg up to the sky, not too high, three-legged dog. And then we're going to step our right leg in between the hands, find a lunge position at the top of our mat. We're going to drop our back heel, find warrior one position. So our right leg is bent, our left leg is back behind us. Both of our hips are facing forward, both of our toes are facing forward, both of our feet are firmly planted into the ground. You can take your hands on your hips if you'd like. Maybe you breathe your hands in front of you, or maybe you breathe your hands all the way up to the sky. Find a space that's comfortable for you. And really breathe into this pose. The deeper you bend that front leg and the wider your legs are, the harder it will be. And the closer you step your feet in towards each other, the more accessible it'll be. Holding for one more breath, breathing our shoulders away from our ears if they're up overhead. Engaging the core wherever we are, knitting the ribs together. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. And then you can lower your hands down or maybe to your hips. And we're going to step the back leg to meet the front at the top of our mat. Let's inhale, breathe our arms up. And on our exhale, hands come back to heart center. This time we're going to continue the movement and bend the legs down, sitting into chair pose. So chair pose, we're sitting in an imaginary chair here. Our weight is in our heels. The lower you go, the more challenging it'll be, and the higher up you stay, the more accessible it'll be. To find your space, weight in the heels. You can press your hands firmly together here. We're really firing up and powering through our legs, really warming up the quads. You can stay right here with our hands together, or maybe you extend and reach your arms back behind you. Or if you'd like to reach your arms up overhead, you have that option as well. Holding for one more breath. Full deep inhale. Stay for the exhale. And then straighten the legs. Lower the arms wherever they are. Shake out the legs if you need. Really good work. All right, top of the mat. Inhale, both arms come up. Maybe we look up. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step the legs back, top of a push-up position. And then exhale, downward facing dogs, hips come up to the sky, heels reach towards the floor. Just one brief moment here, and then we're going to raise our left leg to the sky this time. And then step our left leg in between the hands and find our warrior one. We plant the back heel, adjust your stance as needed, deeply bending through that front leg, squaring our hips to the center. Pull the left hip back, right hip comes forward, bend deeply in that knee. And then find your hands. You can stay on the hips. Maybe your hands come in front of us right here. Or maybe you breathe them all the way up to the sky overhead, reaching. Wherever we are, check in with your knee. Make sure it's growing directly over your toes. You don't want it going out to the sides. Tune back into the breath. Maybe bend a little bit deeper just for the last second. One more deep inhale. Full exhale. And then you can lower your hands down to heart center or to your hips. Step the back leg forward to meet the front. Excellent. Take both hands, breathe them up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then continue down into chair pose, bending both knees, legs together, sitting back into our heels. Feeling the strength in our legs this time. Might be a little bit more challenging to push yourself, but see if you can bend a little bit deeper. Keep your hands at heart center, or if you'd like, reach them back behind you, or breathe them up overhead. Stay for one more breath. Inhale, exhale, and then you can release. Straightening the legs, shake out the arms, shake out the legs. Take a really deep breath. Good work. All right, we're going to do a few balancing poses here. So standing at the top of our mat, let's bring the weight closer to our toes and then shift the weight over to our left leg. We're going to make our right leg nice and light here. A few options. We can just bring our right leg in front of us, still resting on the ground with a bent knee. Maybe you hover it, lift it off the floor a little bit, or maybe you see how high you can lift that right knee. Find your space. Your hands can be resting on your hips, or maybe if you'd like to hold on to that top leg, you have that option as well. We're going to try and slow down the breathing here. Focus on a spot in front of us to help with our balance. And then if your hand wasn't on your leg, grab that leg in front of you. And let's bring our hip over to the side, really opening that knee up to the side, keeping it high, or maybe dropping it a little bit lower. And release that leg. Maybe you take your arms out to the sides. Holding for balance here. If you fall out, it's okay. Just get right back in. Just one more breath here. And then you can feel free to lower the leg, lower the arms, shake out the hips. Same thing on the other side. Bringing our weight to our toes to begin. Shifting the weight over to the right leg. Let that left leg get nice and light. You can begin by keeping your leg on the floor, maybe just hovering 1 inch off the floor, or maybe you lift that left knee nice and high. And feel free to hold on or let go. You can always use the wall or a chair here for balance. Finding the practice that fits you instead of you trying to fit the practice. And slowing down our breath a little bit here. Let's grab that front leg if we weren't already and bring the hip opening to the side. Leg is still bent. Higher as, excuse me, as high or as low as we need. Maybe you let go of that hand. Maybe you bring both arms out to the sides. Pulling up through that supporting leg. One more breath here, and then feel free to lower that leg down. Shake out the hips. Shake out the legs. Great job. All right, we can come to have a seat on our mat now. Once we're seated on our mat, we're actually going to go all the way down to lying down on our back. And we're going to just bring our legs in to our chest and find a nice ball. Just hugging our legs in close to us. Our arms can be wrapping over top. And just squeezing our body, making it as small as possible. And then on our next inhale, we can lower the arms and we're going to raise our legs up to the sky. You can point your toes or flex your toes, whatever you're more comfortable with. This can also be done with the support of a wall, but the goal is just to lift the legs up overhead, start to feel the blood, shifting directions. You can feel free to gently close your eyes here. We're going to stay for 4 or 5 full deep breaths. We are trying to keep our legs as straight as possible, but if you need to bend them, by all means, that is an option. One more breath here. And then feel free to bend your legs. We're going to bring them close to the body again. Give your legs a nice squeeze. coming back to that ball that we were in before. And then this time, let's open our arms out nice and wide to a T. And then we're going to bring both of our legs over to the left. Keeping our legs bent, finding a twist in the spine. Your head can be facing straight up to the ceiling, or maybe you turn it to look over to the right, going in an opposite direction of your legs. You can stay here, or maybe gently close your eyes. Tuning back into the breath. Inhale, coming back to center with the legs, and then exhale, breathe them over to the right side this time. Again, our head can be looking up, or maybe you turn your head and neck away from your legs, looking over your right shoulder. Staying for one more breath, and then let's breathe the legs back up to center. Give your legs one final squeeze, and then when you're ready, we're going to extend the legs long and in front of us to begin to find our Shavasana pose. So Shavasana, we have both of our legs extended long in front of us, laying on the floor. Our arms are long and in front of us, resting on the ground. Our palms can be flipped up to face the sky. And then gently close your eyes here and just start to begin to relax every muscle. Starting at the top of your head and maybe working your way down the body, checking in with every muscle, making sure it's nice and relaxed, not holding any tension. Start to deepen your breath if it's become shallow. Big full breaths in and out through the nostrils. Begin to maybe wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing movement back to your body. And then roll over to one side. And then slowly ease your way up, finding a seated position once again. Taking your time to get here. Your eyes can remain closed, or maybe just softly gazing to the floor. And then let's take both of our hands by our side. Inhale, breathing them up to the sky gently one last time. And then exhale, hands come in front of us, heart center. Namaste.